screen? Just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, David, I can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So let me be sure that okay. So majorly is first thank you for inviting me, DigiClan. I've been part of the community for the past I think 5 years. 2017, I think so. Yes, I think 2017. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story and also my experience with data. Now, because of the community that we are in, some of us might not even be in the digital marketing community. Some have just seen the the flyer and just joined. So I'm going to take it from the perspective of um, so either you're a marketing analyst or you're just a marketing manager or you're a sales manager or you're in the IT department, you're a database person. The whole idea is that, or you're even in the finance. The whole idea, I think, Nelly, can you mute? Nelly, can you mute? Um, I think the whole idea is for us to understand that data is data, irrespective of where you're coming from. Data is data. It's just for you to understand the rules that govern them and how easy for you to analyze them. So data come in different perspective or in different angles, either from either the phone or from either something like Jumia store, or even when you talk, you notice that you say something like, "Oh, I think I will need to buy an umbrella," and you just see an ad that tells you to buy an umbrella. So it's data, but data come in different forms, and how they are being processed and analyzed can come in from a beginner level of Excel to an advanced level of machine learning or AI, something like that. So, and also, if you notice my PowerPoint presentation, you can actually read what I was saying, because why is data. So Microsoft got to the point and know that, oh, people would love if they can read why people are talking, just like we're watching movies, and they needed to embed an AI into PowerPoint. So whenever I'm talking, it just repeats what I'm saying. So it's easy for people who are even also um, deaf and they can't hear, but they can see and they can read. So it's just like that, and it's something like accessibility. So few minutes, like 50 minutes. So for me, I transitioned into data analytics. Funny how I remember there was a training in DigiClan in Yaba, and I remember I think Kende was training us on marketing, data analytics, and stuff like that. I've been a numbers person, so it was so easy to understand what she was saying. From there, I moved into all other roles, online repetition management, got into data analytics, and from there, I'm in Microsoft right now with the global office at Washington, where I work even remotely from Lagos. But the idea is to make people understand what Power BI is and how you understand data and use Power BI to explain those data. So data is data, like I said from the beginning. So wherever you're coming from is still data. That is the whole idea. So I have like 20 people on this call, or 16 to 20 people on this call. Is data. So it means that I might now say, or Amina might say, okay, I want to be able to understand the average people who comes to our weekly or our monthly call. And when we see that, oh, I think it's just only 20 people that comes our monthly call, then I can use that data to understand the next, okay, if we have 50 people, okay, at one particular call, why? Was it the popularity of the presenter, or was it something that we did differently and you begin to analyze and you begin to digest and analyze, and then it becomes something that you're thinking of doing in your next call or something like that. So now But because of the topic of our talk today is about Excel and Power BI, so I'm going to start from Excel. I mean, for Power BI, everybody know Excel. It's just that we might just not know the capability of Excel. But I'm going to just focus on Power BI. Now, Power BI is within a family called the Power Platform. And we definitely know local tools that we use. You use Notion. We have different type of local tools that we use within our workspace. Now, also at the enterprise level, we have local development, which we have the Power Apps. We call it Power Platform. Everything that you see on my screen right now is called the Power Platform. And we have the Power Apps, which we use to build application within the enterprise level. So either you're working at the enterprise level, this is even startup right now begin to start using the Power Apps because you're building in-house app instead of you telling somebody who's a software developer to build an in-house app. You can use Power Apps to build. Power automates processes. You want to automate the processes, different processes. Like now, I register for this. I can use Power Automate to say whenever somebody registers for this, they should just receive an email. Normally, there are tools that do that, but I can, and instead of me subscribing to a tool to do that, I can just use the Microsoft tools that I have, and these are Microsoft tools. Then the Power BI is for the analytics side, and the Power Virtual Agent is like a boat. You know your boat where you go to a Jumia store or any store, and you see a boat chatting up with you, something like that. You can create your own boat version of boat because maybe people ask you a lot of questions. Like let's say Olani does something within IT stuff, and newcomers or new employees we always ask the same set of questions. Olani can just say, okay, I'm going to create a mini boat of me so that whenever anybody comes and say, oh, Olani, I'm a new employee, I want to be able to, Olani will just say, don't worry, just chat with my boat. My boat has all your answers. Something like that. But it's still within the company. So it's not out of the company, it's within that company, something like that. And we have all these things, but I don't want to go into them. But just understand that the Power BI side is the analytics side of the whole Microsoft. The whole Microsoft. You're talking about analytics. You're talking about Power BI. So this is something like a Power BI bad report, something like that. But I just want to show you what Power BI is, just the interface. Just look at it at the interface level. So you need to understand that Power BI can connect with many so many data sources. And so I'm going to go into, because we have like 45 minutes right now, or less than 45 minutes, and I have so many demos to show. So and one thing is that you can always unmute and ask your questions. We flow like that. That is the way I know that you are participating, because it's actually cold. So I need everybody to talk, or you chat and you just ask me, oh, okay, now. So my first question to you now, before I switch over to my my demo screen, is that have you heard of Power BI before this session, or this is the first time you're hearing of Power BI? Just type it in the chat. I just want to hear from you. Just type it in the chat. While I go to my screen, just type it in the chat. Have you heard of Power BI? Heard of it before? I use Power BI. Oh, Paul used Power BI. Oh, that is cool. That is cool. Yes, I have. I have heard of Power BI before. I've heard of Power BI before now. Oh, cool. Oh, cool, cool, cool. So the next question is that, like Paul, do you use Power BI on a scale of 1 to 10? How often do you use Power BI? 0, 1, 2, 3, 0. Thank you. I like that. 0, 0, 0. Okay, good. Moses 0. Victor 0. Okay, good. 0, 0. Oh, nice. Oh, good. Oh, 1, 7. Paul 7. Okay, good. So Paul will look like my co-trainer, something like that. Okay, Gideon. Okay, 3. So the assumption of this data right now, if you notice, we are just collating data, is that I have more beginners with just only one person at the, let's say, advanced level. So just one big. So now I have to go ground up. So now this is an interface. So I don't want to. I just want to show you the 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 I just want to show you the demo side. If you want to go granular, I'm going to give you guys the like Microsoft Learn modules for you guys to take. But right now, I'm just going straight to the points. Just see what Power BI can do. Now, you remember that there are different places that your data is, and your data can be in, let's say, the Google Analytics Studio. Your data can be in Excel. Your data can be in a CSV file, or your data can be, just give me anywhere that your data used to be. Anybody in your workplace? Well, Victor, Moses, Promise, where is your data? Some people, their data can be in an SQL location. Different places that your data can be. So now the next question is that if your data is in Excel, like Victor have said, or shared drive, okay, good. Where it is, or web, okay, good. Now, can Power BI connect to that location? That is the first important thing that you want to know. Can I get it from there? So now let's see it. So in Power BI, there's something called get data. There's something called get data, and you can see it below below insert, and you can see that location called, you can see get data, Excel workbook, data hub, and stuff like that. Now I'm going to click on get data, and I'm going to click on more. So let's look at it. So now if you look at more right now, we want to be able to see the different locations of Excel of data sources. So now you can see Excel, and as I scroll down, you see the folder, you see SharePoint, you see SQL, you see IBM, you see Google BigQuery, you see Snowflakes. For people in the data core data, we understand those locations. You see the Salesforce object, Salesforce report. You see the Google Analytics. And for people in the data in the marketing side, you need to connect to that place, something like that. You have the LinkedIn sales. For people in the accounting side, you see your QuickBook. For people in the web, you see your web. So now it means that you're connecting to different location, and you need to be sure that, oh, can I connect to it? If I can connect to it, then your first order has been solved, and that is the real truth. So you have to scroll and try and just check, oh, can it connect? And most of the time it connects. Even most of the time it connects, and that is the real truth. Most of the, and worst case scenario, if it doesn't connect, that that location, or let's say that web application that doesn't connect straight to Power BI, we always have exports to Excel. And that is one thing about every website. There are two things that they will always export to Excel, or export to CSV. So it's so important. And that is the major thing. For you to know any software, they have to be export to Excel, then export to CSV. So worst case scenario is exporting to Excel, or is exporting to what? To CSV. And that is the real truth. So now the next thing I wanted to show you now is to take you guys to a data set. So I have a data set I want to show everybody. Let me just see. So the data set is, so let me just go take you back to, so if I want to connect to a data set, I have a data set called the telecommunication customer chunk. Is the data set that I want everybody to check. So it's just small. Let me just take it to a new window, and so that everybody can see it. So now there's a challenge that always happens, and it is that challenge every month. It happens every month, and we have this data, the telecommunication customer churn. And for people in the marketing side, you definitely understand churn rate and every other thing like that I might want to use. So this is a monthly data set. It's called the Marvin challenge. So I'm picking up their data to use it for this particular training. So I downloaded it, and this is what it showed right now. So I'm going to take it up, and I want to show you. So it has okay. So this is
Sorry
it.
for cutting in,
Okay.
David. Is
Yeah.
not there. Can you please zoom in?
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to use zoom in. Yeah. Okay. So now, can you see it right now? Well, now Aminat, can you see it now? Aminat. Anybody, can you see? Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Collins.
I can see it now.
Oh, Victor, thank you very much.
Collins, can you
Okay,
see
great.
it now?
They can see it now. Collins said yes now. Okay. So now when we downloaded it, it gave us a folder, and that folder has three data. And that three data, if you notice, they are CSV files. So the first one was the customer churn. The second one was the dictionary. The dictionary means that, oh, the different columns in the customer churn, they just want to explain it to you. And the third one was zip code and population. So, that is just it, something like that. So now there's so many things that you're thinking in your head. I've not seen the data already, so I can't. There's so many things I need to see. So right now, I just know that we have three CSV files. So what I went to do is this: um, I went back to my Power BI, and I needed to open it up. So what did I do? For me to bring it into Power BI, I went to normal get data. You know your normal get data. You click on CSV, which is this CSV, and you go there and you pick it up. That's just the normal thing that you do. But what I did, then I went to, when you have done with all that, you're going to see that it's going to take you to a place called two things. It's going to take you to a place where you have the load and the transform. You're going to see it in your navigation. Load and transform. What does it mean by load and transform? Load means, oh, this data is clean, David. Just take me straight to Power BI and let me work on it. But transform means, David, I still need to clean up this data set. So you always know that our data sometimes can always be messy and dirty. So you need to take it to its own cleaning location, clean it, then you bring it back to Power BI to analyze. So the cleaning location of Power BI is something that we call the Power Query. So if I look up here, yes, now you're going to see it up there. You see the Power Query editor. Just look up, 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 up. You see Power Query editor. This is the Power Query interface. It's embedded within Power BI. And something like that. It's also in your Excel too. Power Query is inside your Excel too. So now I'm going to rush through this so that we need to analyze some few things and you understand what I'm saying. So let me try and increase this interface. I need to remember how. Okay, good. I can get it now. Cool. So I think everybody should be able to see this very well now. So we have these data sets. Don't worry, it's really clean majorly. I just need to just check some few things. They gave us age. They gave us age, but I was asking myself that if I want to do this analysis, I want to do age analysis, there'll be an issue. Because you know why? Imagine your normal X and Y axis. And you want to do your X. Now it means that you're going to start from, let's say, if I click here, you see that the lowest number here is 19. The lowest age is 19. And let's say the highest age is 80. So imagine a line, a X and Y axis, that line chart that has 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 to 80. It doesn't make sense. So we need to categorize it. And we need to make it look like, so you know your Gen X, Gen Y, baby boomer, Gen Z, something like that. So that's what we did. And that's all you have in this your new age here. And I click here, just check the step. Let me just check the step and show you. So it has something here that says that, okay, new age, if you check it, if age is less than or equals to 25, give me Gen Z. If age is, you know, our normal Excel, our if is this 40, give me. So it means that 26 to 40, give me Gen Y. Like 0 to 25, give me Gen Z. Then we have 41 to 60, give me Gen X. But anything above 61, just give me baby boomers. Do we understand this conditional column? Let me know. Just type yes, no, yes, no. Do you understand? It's just trying to just categorize, just categorization that we're just doing here. We're just categorizing it to make sure that, oh, okay, so that it's easier for us to say, oh, okay, I know this group of people and I know this group of people. So if you're less than 25, we know that we are talking to this kind of, how do we call it, the Malians. stubborn generation, something like that. So if you are saying below 40, generation Y, you are looking at people who are married, yeah, early married set of people. And the next set of people, we are looking at people who are kind of older, the Peter Obi set people. And baby boomers, we are looking at our Tinubu set of people. So something like that. And we just need to understand that. Okay. So let's click that. So that was the only change really I made. And we have zip code location. This is the only thing that was in zip code. And they were just giving us population, something like that. If we need this data set, we can use it. If you don't use it. So, and we have the data dictionary. Data dictionary was just telling us that, oh, customer ID is telling us about the unique for each customer. The gender is saying male or female. The age. So it was just explaining, just like a dictionary. And I was like, okay. And one beautiful thing is that if you have, imagine that you have different data sets uh, let's say you have data set coming in from Twitter, you have a data set coming in from web, you have a data set coming in from Excel. You can actually bring all of them together and analyze. So it's not as if that, oh, a data set is coming from web, let me analyze it separately. You close and you open another Power BI. No. Since they are, let's say a campaign, you're running a campaign and you needed to do some analysis from various sources, you can bring all the old data sources together. So this data set that I have here that is called David Abu April was my data set from on Twitter from April to June, something like that. So I can bring that up and say, okay, maybe imagine that there's this that I was part of, let's say, this team. I can say, oh, does a campaign that we did on Twitter affected the churn rate or something? You get what I'm saying? So I'm trying to combine different data sources to analyze a full-blown campaign, something like that. But we will not do that, but I'm just giving you ideas on the things that we can do. So now, this data dictionary, we can analyze it because it was just like a notebook for us to tell us that oh, this is the way you can use your data set, something like that. But we don't need that. So I can tell you to now start going to Power BI to analyze. It doesn't make sense. This zip code population, do we need it or we don't need it? We might need it, we might not need it. So we just leave it like that. Then I'll just close and apply. Okay, 11:30. So now I have 29 more minutes. So now let's see. So I brought them here. And if you notice, this becomes 3 tables. You know those 3 tables that we brought in? You know, we're not bringing one more. That was our dictionary. So these are David Abu April, let's say the Twitter campaign, something like that. And we have the full data set itself, which is the customer churn that we downloaded, and also the zip code from where they are coming from, something like that. So before this training, they told us from the Marvin Analytic website that we got it from, they said it's from California and stuff like that. So I needed to run their latitude and longitude to be sure it is California. And that's what I got. And you notice that our location was actually more on California, if you notice. So it means that, oh, we're doing something big, but we're doing something right. So because it shows that we're doing something right. Okay, cool. So now, but let's assume that we want to analyze a report itself. What type of analysis that you want to do? The first thing I want to look at is that what are the different age that, what is the, let's say, what is the different age? How many male, how many female, something like that. You might want to look that. And how do we do that? Let's assume that we want to bring in a chart, one chart. I bring in a chart from here. See it. It's called the visualization pane. You bring in that chart, any chart, and you want to now bring in, let me just say, I go to the full data. I want to bring in male or female. So I need to remember gender. Okay, I click on gender. Male or female. It shows that. But right now, we need to know the count, like how many people. There is nothing that shows that how many people. So what do you think we are going to do? Anybody? Because of time, what we are going to do now is that we take our customer ID, and we'll put customer ID. But there's a big problem. It took us to details. If you see it, it took us to details. We don't want details. We want it to be in values for people who have used pivot table. We want it to be in values. So it give us numbers. So I'm going to drag it up a little bit and take it to values. Then it gives us count of customer ID. Cool. So now let me increase it. So notice it very well. You notice that they are so similar. Like they are similar, kind of. It's like approximately 50-50%. If you look at it, approximately even male and more, but they're just similar. So it means that there is no really gender to say, oh, the churn rate affected was because male or female. There is really no, we can't go through that direction. So there is no analytics for gender, something like that. But we can know that, but there's really no analytics for it. But can you leave it there? Yes, we can. Why not? Because maybe your manager might wants to know. So something like that. You can leave it there. Yeah. But in Power BI, when you start doing count of, it will be better you have a number that like that count everybody, and we know that there's a particular number attached to it. So now let's assume that I bring in a card visual and I want to still do that same count. So I bring in the customer ID because customer ID is unique. It's unique for each person. Is unique. So I bring it in. It says first customer ID. It's actually giving us the first customer ID. We don't want this. We want to know the number of customers that we are dealing with. That's just what we wanted to know. So see what I'm going to do. In the field there, I'm going to click the drop down and I'm going to work on it a little bit. So I'll click the drop down. Can you see count there? There's a count there. So I'm going to click on the count. So I'm going to click on count. Good. So it says that the count of customer ID is 7,043. So it means that there are 7,043 customers. That's our customers. Okay. So the next thing that I want to say is this. But since the account, why can't we just create a formula that can just give us this count instead of doing customer ID changing stuff? So you know what I'm going to do? There's now something called DAX in Power BI. Kind of advanced, but DAX. I won't go in depth into it. So what I did for that was that I went to DAX. I said, oh, DAX, I'm going to type total customer, and says, oh, count the different rows and give me the number of the data that we have within this data set. I want to know. Because each role is talking about one customer. Each role was talking about one customer. So I need I need the function to count each rows and give me the total number. So we need to be sure that this total customers formula gives us actually the count of ID too. If it doesn't give us, then there's a big problem. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in my card also again. I'm getting in my card again. And I'm going to go to my total customers. Cool. Okay. So it means we are correct. So I will stop using count of ID because it takes us more time to use count of ID. And I'll just use total customers. Simple. Because I have a function that deals with total customers. Okay. So let's say this is our second visualization that we have. So now the next thing that we want to look is this. The age that we did, remember that age? We wanted to now categorize our age. We want to be able to understand generation Y, generation X, how many of our customers are coming from different generations. So I'm going to go to the new age. I can click just the age. Yeah, before I'll go and click on the visualization before I click on the categories. But now I click categories, then it just brings out its own visualization. Default most of the time is always stable. And I can go and click on the total customers. So it shows here that actually Gen X has the highest. Gen X are actually, I think I can't even remember now, sir, but I think Gen X, their age, I think is the 40 to 60 people. I think that those are the Gen X. I can't remember, but yeah. So now, but what I want to do is, I don't think that we love table. So I just put in a bar chart. Cool. Have you seen it? Cool. So now this makes more sense. I can say, okay, so I can go in. There's a place called, you want to format the chart itself. I want to format the chart. I want you to make it more beautiful because of the rules of visualization. I want to format it right now. So I'm going to go and format it. I don't want everything to be in blue. I don't want it. But first things first, I want to increase the data label. I want to just show the data label. Oh, okay. Data label has shown something like that. It has shown. Cool. This makes more sense. But I want whereby all these other ones doesn't show blue. It just shows, let's say, an ash color, something like that. So I'm going to type in here color values okay. So if I go down a little bit, I'm going to show all the colors. So now if you look here, you can see generation X blue, generation Y blue, stuff like that. So I want to remove them. I don't want it to be like this. So I'm going to now say, oh, okay, I need only generation Y to give me an ash here, and this one ash, and generation Z to give me an ash. Yeah. Now this shows start. Oh, so when you see this visual, you say, oh, okay, I understand what David is saying there. Generation X has the highest, something like that. And it makes you understand it very well, something like that. So this is how visualization happens, and you begin to visualize different type of analysis. So because of time, but because of time, I want to just go a little bit into AI, and now you can just pick in any visuals and we can start playing with them, any visuals. And one beautiful thing about it is that it is interactive. Interactive in the sense that I can now bring in I can bring in city slicer, the different city slicers, and you can see here different city slicers. And when I pick on the first city, can you see it? It just shows the different. Oh, there are 4 people from Acap, Acapo, something like that. And I put in Aton. Can you see that it begins to just, and that is how beautiful it is. And oh, maybe that is why the gender will make more sense, because you now begin to understand, oh, there are no female from this location, oh, there are more males, or there are no more males, or something like that. Then you begin to analyze. And this is how beautiful it is. This looks crazy, kind of, because you have just one. So everybody's one, 2 male, 2 female, 4 customers, something like that. That was cool. So, and you begin to just do the analysis like this from different angles. You can just pick any visuals and you begin to explain like that. And you can even now say, oh, okay, I think that we should do the top 10 cities that give us these customers. Let's do that. Then we go into Excel because of time, because it just remains like few minutes. So let's do a top 10. Oh, no. Let's do this thing. What is even the reason of people churning? Because that is the major question itself. Why are people leaving? Why are people leaving? So now there's a place called the churn category. This churn category. Oh, okay. So I think I have clicked on something. Let me just. Okay, cool. Now, this is a churn category. Churn category means what are the different categories of people living. I'm going to bring in the total customers. Okay, nice. I can just bring in, let's say, column charts. I don't like that. No, that is wrong. Okay. Now you notice that this guy here is too long and there's nothing there. There's no reason. So these people did not feel why they left the company or the service. It's just one of the columns. So if you check here, you see churn category. Just check the one shaded with the thick one. You see churn category is a junior. Do you see churn category? Below it, there's churn reason. So those two are why we want to just see why are people leaving really. So it shows here that many people did not really click on it. They did not really tell us the reason. So it doesn't make sense to include it. It doesn't make sense to include. So I'm going to just exclude this data. Now this now makes more sense. I don't know, maybe you saw the changes. It made more sense right now. So it shows that, oh, it's just competitor. That means that this company have a better competitor, or the competitor is a better strategist or something like that. So price is not even the problem. It's just competitor dissatisfaction and attitude. Oh God. So it means that price is not the problem of this company that are not making more sales. It's just teamwork within the company, because your competitor, you need to create better strategy. Imagine if the dissatisfaction and attitude problem reduces, it's actually going to be more better to compete with the competitors. It's just as simple as that. Something like that. But in these competitors, we have the different categories. I can now say, okay, wait, there's a chunk category, but there are reasons that people typed. Let us see the reasons. So I can just do Control C, Control V because of time. And I remove these churn categories and put in churn reasons. Yeah. So now we can now see this. Let me just show you into tables so that we can really understand what they are saying here. Okay. If you look at it here, you just see it says that customer have better devices. Customer made better offer. So it means that is our services or our devices okay? If they're not okay, how do we improve on the services? Something like what iPhone is doing, or better offer. We need to create a good marketing strategy to give a better offer, something like that. Look like what MTN is doing. MTN reduces their their devices, Flex, from 25,000 to 10,000. Crazy. So it means that there is no way that you can get that device if you want to get that device. Like, it's not just not possible for you to get that device. So you might need to want to get that device. Something like that. I work for Microsoft, so I'm not doing that, but it just shows the idea. It might be just because their competitor is doing better at better offers, and they just wanted to create another better offer to beat their market. Something like that. Attitude of support person. It means HR have a lot of work to do. If the attitude of your support team is at 220 and 220 customers are saying that your attitude of your support team is bad, so the HR team has a very big work to do here. People said don't know. Then it means that these people that don't know, they're actually big part of your market. You need to bring them to the other side. They're just on the fence. It's not as if that there's a reason. They're just on the fence. You need to bring them. So do you see how we are analyzing it? And it gives us better way to visualize also the data. So something like this. So now in the city of account, we can start looking at them and start saying, oh, what are they saying? And stuff like that. So something like that. And we begin to analyze. Okay. So now we are done with what Power BI can do at the bigger level. Now, but one beautiful thing is that I can take this data set and take it to Excel. There are different ways to do it, but I just want to do it in one more simple way. So I'm going to go back to the Power Query side. Remember our Power Query where we clean? I'm going to go there. There's a place called View, and we have the Advanced Editor. Now, this Excel, everything here, I just want to pick it up. Control A, Control C, I close it. Close it. Then I'm going to open Excel. So let me just see. I want to open my Excel file. Close. Yeah. Just give me 1 minute. If you want to ask questions, just ask questions. Just ask questions. Let me see. While I open the Excel.
Yes, please. You guys can unmute your mic.
Yes.
And ask a question. So drop it in the chat.
Or drop it in the chat. Yeah. Okay. So this is Excel. But in this Excel, I want to bring in that same data. You saw that thing those code that I copied and closed. I want to bring it. So I'm going to go to my data tab. That's what I'm going to do. I go to my data tab. See, this is the power of where Excel is. Depends on the type of Excel that you're using, but you have to use the most current one to be able to see all this. I don't think you use it. Okay, just use anything from 2019, 2020, 2021. Yeah. So can you see your get data again? Who saw the get data again? Can you see that get data? Anybody, do you see your get data again? Now you can now
Yes,
start
I
seeing the
can.
similarity. Exactly, cool. You start seeing the similarity between your Power BI and your Excel, Power BI and Excel, something like that. But now I can now say, okay, good. I want to go and get data again, but this time I want to just use from blank query. From blank query. You know why? I want it to go and give me a power query, a blank power query. Remember that we went to Power Query to copy that stuff. So right now, I'm going to come here. Uh, so see what I want to do right now is this. Okay, why is this not showing what I want? Okay, so now it has this. Now you notice I want to be able to clean this and Control V. Remember what we did that time? Control A, Control C, Control V, everything here. And I click done. See what will happen. Cool. Do you see how cool that was? It gave us back the same file. The same file. It gave us back. And this is it. The same thing. The same thing. The new age, everything it gave us back. I can clean this data and call it, let me just call it the data churn, something like that. And I can say, okay, I would just want to close and load. Now in Excel, there are different things in Excel. Do you want to close and do report, or close and just give me the table itself, or do pivot chart or something like that? I can just click OK and say, no, just give me the table itself. The table itself. Now see the table. Who can remember the number of rows that we counted? The number of customers, it was 7,043. So check this out. The data churn, how many rows was loaded? 7,000. So it means that he loaded everything, like everything. So now I can say, okay, there are two ways to do analytics in Excel. Microsoft have improved it. Before you do your pivot table, but I don't want to go into pivot table. I don't have time. I have like 5 minutes. So let me just take you to an AI within Excel that helps you to do analysis. Check it out. It's called the analyze data up there. Analyze data. It helps you for analysis. So if I click on it, see what it will do for me. It has to use the internet, obviously. Just check it out. You don't need to do anything. Like, you don't need to do anything. See it. Then you start doing some analysis. Contract month to month as higher total is just giving you the different type of analysis. In the generation X and Y, have higher number of dependents. Wow. And maybe that's why they are leaving, because so many people are depending on them. So they can't take care of the bills or something like that. Something like that. So now, and he has, if you look down a little bit, you can see he has show all 35 results. And I can click that. Let me see. Excuse me. Okay. No, I'm not using that. Okay. So you see, and I can start doing that, and I can start checking the different things in here, and I can bring them in and do some work on it. I can also improve, do some work on it. You can see different analysis. Oh, do I need this type of analysis? Do I need and stuff like that? I can just do them and improve on the visualization. Okay, so because I don't want to go too much in depth in it, but I just want you to understand the things that Excel can do with visualization and the AI capability of it, and the things that Power BI can do within it. And also, even there's also AI within Power BI, and that you can do, and I can ask Power BI question, I can give me different answers, something like that. So I hope you've learned something. You can ask your questions. We are 7 minutes to the end. Thank you, Mina.
Yeah,
Mimi.
thank you, David.
Yeah.
I've definitely learned something. All right, guys, do we have any questions for David?
Okay.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, David.
Okay, is it?
Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So first of all,
Uh,
but then the question that I have is I've seen people do analysis. So I really don't know how, because I'm very passionate about analysis, but then I've been following different tutors from back to back. How they usually do that data presentation that has like say some actually do a very colorful background and the rest of them, but you didn't do that in your own. It just
Yeah,
has a
because
white
this is just
background.
this is just introduction. If I want to do that, like I can
Oh,
do that, but it's
okay.
just introduction. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just
okay. Because
introduction.
I've actually saw different they all come about that.
Yeah, it's just really simple actually. There's nothing about background. So if I just click on the white background itself, okay, it's giving me my Q&A, but no, I don't need the Q&A right now. So I can just go to my canvas background, bring
Oh,
in
canvas.
browsing, bring in a picture, just pick any picture I want. Let's assume that I'm picking any picture.
Okay,
There's
but
really nothing in it.
sorry to question. Do we have this on record so I can as well just go over? Oh,
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes. You can.
definitely.
I think it's there.
all
Yeah,
right,
We'll
so I
thank
share
you.
can
the
just
recording
yeah,
after.
so I can just come here and click open, something like that, and reduce. I think transparency. Do you
All right,
notice the
all right.
background changed? Do you notice?
Yes, the
Yeah.
yellow
So
package.
yeah, the yellow stuff. So I can design something on PowerPoint and bring it as a background. There's really
At the
nothing there,
background.
really. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
For me, I just work.
Okay,
I
David,
just
there is
love.
another
Okay.
question for you.
Okay, what if your data as yours? We used to be able to use Power BI, or is it a must to fine tune it like the data example you use? Okay, so Felicia, no matter how your data is dirty, Power BI will clean it, and that is the Power Query side. That is the engine. There's so many things that you can do on Power Queries, like so many things. That is even where I'll tell you start from. You learn how to clean data, and you can, no matter what, the better you are in Power Query, the better you actually are in Power BI. Then from there, you know how to use DAX. Yes, Power Query can clean at any level.
Okay,
Power Query clean. Gideon.
I have a question. Can I ask?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
So Tableau and Microsoft BI, are they the same thing, or because most times I see most data analysts work more with should I say Tableau than Power BI. So I want to know if there is any difference between Power BI and Tableau, or if
So
they're the same thing.
first things first, they are visualization tools. Excel is a visualization tool. Same way is an analytic tool. Power BI, same way with the customer and competitor Tableau. So the major thing there is that it now depends on what you're trying to do. Some people love Tableau, some people turn into the Power BI side, some people turn into the Excel side, depending on your project, depending even on your company that you work for. Anyone, but they're just visualization too. I hope I answered your
Thanks.
question, Gideon.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have questions for David? Please ask.
And those in the digital marketing side, you always notice that you already have tools that helps you for this analysis. But for you to go in depth, sometimes it's better for you to be able to work on this data yourself because you know what you're looking for sometimes. Sometimes those tools might not give you what you're looking for. Something like that. So any more
All right.
questions?
Good morning. Yes, I do have a question. Can we hear me?
Yes, I can, Jola.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks for the session. I'm not sure if you'd mentioned my question while addressing everyone, so I hope I'm not asking something already explained.
Okay.
It's from the part where you were transforming or cleaning the data. So I
Okay.
want to ask, so is there something that should be at the back of your mind when you're cleaning your data? I'm not sure if you mentioned something like that. So now I know that. Okay, so they give me like 4 Excel sheets or 5 Excel sheets with
Okay.
different information. Is there
Okay.
going to be a guide that says, okay, we need to understand why there's been a rise or a fall? And that is what will now guide, okay, I don't need this column, I don't need this column, I don't need this column, this is the column that I need. I don't know if you mentioned something like that, because I was just wondering, where are we going to? What is the end result? What are we trying to
Okay.
show our
Cool.
user? I don't know if you mentioned that because I was lost at that point.
Okay, cool. So now one thing is this. Yeah, thanks. I like that question. Thank you for that. So now one thing is that you need to understand, fine, when a data set is given to you, Jella, you can even unmute yourself. We can even discuss it. Now, when a data set
Okay.
is given to you, the first thing that you know is that you don't likely have an idea of what the data is. You can't definitely you can't be blank about it, completely blank about the data. Now, when you open the data set, the next thing you want to use is that definitely it's going to be in columns and rows. Am I correct, Jola?
Yeah.
So since let's say it's an Excel file, so it's going to be in columns and rows. Let's say there are 4 data. Now, even you can, before you even bring it into Power BI or anything, just look at it from the Excel. You can say, oh, this column, do I need this column for what I'm looking for? Because definitely there will be a brief, as you guys in the digital side call it, that said that, oh, these are the things that we want to get from this data set. So now you need to now ask yourself, does this column, with this column, give me what I want? Because right now, from the website that we got this data set, they said we should look at the churn rate and we should understand what are the set of churn, different angles within the churn rate, and what are the recommendations to give. So now, if I want to analyze it, this is what I'm going to do. So let's look at it together. So now for Jola, if you look at this, the first one is customer ID. Do we want to know the type of cost? We don't want to know the customer itself. We might want to. So it makes more sense to leave it there. Do we want to know the gender? Yes, definitely. Do we want to know their age for this analysis, for the churn rates? Yes, we might want to. So when you pick each of them, you might say, oh, okay, I want to. Some you might not want to, you might just delete it because you don't need it. There are some like that you don't need. So now when you have gotten to that point, but sometimes your data might not be as clean as this at all. So you need to first clean that data set. When you clean the data set, then you now need to now say, okay, for each of the different columns, this is what you want to look, this is what you want to look at. This one. Now, when you know that, then you bring it into Power BI to analyze. Another thing is that what are the things that you need to put in your head when cleaning data? There are 7 rules when cleaning data sets. Now, let me just take you guys to my Google, location, to my Google Chrome. So now, I want 7 golden rules of data. Now, these 7 golden rules is so important for everybody to know. One rule of heading: no empty columns, no empty rows. All dates must be in a single column. Any date that you have must just be in a single column. Each unique data must have its own column. No total or subtotal. No option on your data. If you just Google 7 golden rules of data, click on the link. It's going to take it for you to understand each of what I'm saying. Now, this is one thing that helps when you're cleaning your data. What is no single rows of data? It means that there must just not be an empty column between your gender and your new age. Just a full empty column doesn't make sense because you don't need that. You have to delete that. Everything has to be intact. There's no maybe a single row that is so empty from beginning to end. It doesn't make sense. You have to remove that. Or let's say you have female is supposed to be gender column, but you see inside of age column, then there's a big problem. Each of the different column must have its own defined data, something like that. So now these are the different things that you go into when you're going into cleaning that data that you have to take note of, and you start working on and working on and working on. Yeah, but it's not as easy as I've said it, but it's just with time you understand.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Do we have more questions for David, please? All right, David, I think that's it. Thank you.
Hello.
So,
Okay, I think somebody
okay,
wants
Williams, you want to say something?
Sorry, I just joined. I don't know. I think I might have missed something from the beginning. So, pardon me for joining late. If you can just recap or give me a recap of what you guys started with. Thank you.
Okay, so William, we've come to the end of the class, but the class has been recorded and we'll definitely share it with you. Hi, William.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
get
So
that?
it's a recorded session.
Yes, it is. It is, Williams.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. So if you want to learn Power BI, you go on Microsoft Learn. Is where you can learn everything on Power BI. It's just like the University of Microsoft. Anything you want to learn, even Excel, you have the Microsoft Learn. Just type Microsoft Learn Power BI, you're going to see it. Or you check my handle, you're going to see all this information. Or my handles on Twitter, or my handles on LinkedIn. David Abu underscore on Twitter, David Abu on LinkedIn. Thank you very much, everybody. Aminat, over to you. I think Aminat is having issues, so maybe I don't know. I think yeah, she has gone off, so maybe we can all just go off. I think she's having an issue with our internet. So thank you very much, everybody.
All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Yeah, Williams, I can hear you. And I'm sorry. The rain is
Okay.
really
So
disturbing.
I want to understand something. I thought it's going to be a session whereby you take us through data visualization and then basically the topic. So now
Yes,
that's a
that's the
recorded
topic.
session. Where are you going? Which platform are you going to share the link on?
Okay, you registered for this class, yes, with your email?
Yeah, yeah, sure. That's how come I
Okay,
got
so
to
we'll
know
send it via email to you.
now.
No, not today because some edits have to be done. But
Okay,
once the edit has been done and the recording is ready, we'll share with you by email.
sure. All right, I'll be expecting it then. Okay,
All right then. Thank you very much for
bye bye.
attending.
And then how do I reach out to you guys in terms of in case I have any questions or anything of that sort?
Okay, so I'm dropping my number. Just text me on WhatsApp and I'll pass your question across.
Okay, I'll send your number. Okay, that's
All
fine.
right,
Okay,
just text me. So I'll either pass your question across or share David's contact with you.
okay, sure. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye, guys. Thank you for attending our master class. We are looking forward to see you in the upcoming one.